or some shit. But yeah, okay, cool. All right, bet we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Hopefully, it don't fuck up this time. Um, do you think men and women can be equal or indifferent in their physical or emotional makeup?
I think they could be similar, but I feel like men and women are different in general when it comes to emotional makeups. Women are just wired to be more emotional, I feel, than men. Men are more wired to be less emotional, more problem solvers.
I feel. I feel. Okay, cool, cool. What's the most thing a guy done? What's the most simp thing a guy done for you?
Honestly, mm, I can't really say that. I don't think I've had any like crazy, like, sent for me down bad moments like that.
Okay, okay. Are you dominant or submissive?
I feel like it depends. I am bisexual. I do lean more towards men now that I've like grown in years. However, uh, when it comes to a man, I feel like if he's bringing the men energy, like the man energy, definitely a submissive. You feel me? Like dominate me the whole way. But if you're not giving that type of manly energy, and I'm really just there to like get my rocks off, then I'm gonna dominate, do what I gotta do, and be out.
Okay, okay. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So basically, you gay though, because when a man say, if a man was labeled bisexual, they'll call him gay. So how come females don't get the same thing as being called gay like a man?
I don't know that. Honestly, I really don't. I can honestly say that. I feel like if a man were to say like, "Oh, I'm bisexual," he'd be like, "Oh," they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're gay."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming for that. I feel like that kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Who you like to be with more, females or guys?
Like I said, with age now, definitely guys.
I feel that. I feel that. Okay, okay. How long you been bisexual?
Uh, Probably about um.
Gotta see your face. Gotta see your face.
I can't show his face, so I kind of put up to the
Oh, I feel you.
frame. So I had to wait for him to go out. He's good now. So no, I feel like I really started to notice when I was in junior high and high school. Like I just noticed that I noticed women more, and I'd be like, oh, she's really pretty, she looks good, and then I started having the thoughts of like really wanting to do stuff. College is when I really branched out and I actually started like experimenting and trying and noticed that I really did like it. I enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, and I was in a relationship with a girl for a while. I was engaged to a female. Um, yeah, we rocked out for a couple years. It just didn't end up working out. Shit ended up, splitting.
Right, right, right. Okay, cool, cool. So you was a Lily Lint liquor.
What does that even mean?
A lint liquor. Okay, cool, cool. So I feel you. I feel you. Like, right. So you had a lot of threesomes with females and guys, or just with females?
If I'm gonna be totally honest with you, in college I definitely had threesomes, but only it was just like with two other girls. I've never had like a threesome with a guy and another girl.
Okay. What are the underlying cause of the value in women?
The underlying cause of the value of
Yeah.
women. Explain that a little bit.
Like, would you think the cause of the value in women? Like, women feel like they being the value in modern culture. They don't think they getting they just due. So, like, I'm saying, like, what you think the cause of that?
I think that's really because men. I'll definitely be real honest with you. I feel like women have changed their mindset the last couple years. Definitely, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a lot more of women having men mindsets and men having women mindsets. Not all of them, some of them, but you do see a lot more like feminine or softer men nowadays, and you see a lot more like harder females. So I feel like with that change, and when it happened, it kind of made the men be like they they want the submissive female, and but they don't want to earn it. And then they have the female who wants to be submissive and be in their soft era, but a man who isn't letting them be in their soft era, so they're being in their man era, so to speak. I feel like with that whole cause of like that whole friction, it's making us kind of like switch back and forth, and so women are starting to feel like men aren't being the providers anymore, and I just feel like there's kind of like
I feel like men should only provide for their wives, or like if they're in a serious relationship, not just for like a woman just because they giving them a piece of ass. Like, I mean, if that's what they own, that's the relationship. But I feel like women want men to do they want men to be traditional men, but they're not being traditional women.
yeah,
Like 40, 50, 60 years ago, women were having sex with maybe one guy or two guys.
right.
Now they have a whole roster of men.
No,
I mean, come on. I
agree.
mean, come on, man. Like,
I can
and I,
agree, 100%.
and I ain't got no problem with women want to be hoes and be promiscuous. Like, shit, hey, I ain't got a problem with it. But I just got an issue with they blaming the men for it, but they don't want choosing the fuck.
Right. I feel like honestly that has a lot of big things to do with like a lot of the female rappers nowadays.
Oh yeah,
Nowadays songs.
they want to be these bitches.
It's 95 degrees, you know, like all that like hype.
They want to be these girls so bad. They want to be them so bad. They want to be just like them.
Yeah.
Like I be doing YouTube content, and I just walk up to them like I be like, hey, you want to do some YouTube? They just walk past me like they Beyonce or some shit. Like, who is this guy? Like they want to be celebrities so bad. These broke ass hoes. But I don't follow them up. Them the type of hoes that got to suck dick for $150 to get the light bill paid and shit. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But I always say this though right here. Feminism only works for like 10 to 15% of women, and especially attractive women. Feminism really work for.
What do you mean by that? Like feminism?
It only when I say that it only benefits attractive women because in the long run they can get these high quality men because of their looks. The average below looking women are trying to use feminism, but they don't have the looks to go with it. It only works for a small percentage of women, feminism. And it really backfires on the women who doing this. The regular women, the 3s and 6s, and the 3s and 6s and 7s, and the adjustable 7s. So that's why I say only a small percentage of women. But like you said, you made a good point. The female rappers, the influencers, they think they models now. I mean, a basic girl, a basic bitch thinks she's a 304 now. 50, 60 years ago, this wasn't the problem in the 90s.
Yeah.
Every bitch is 304 now. God, you can't tell nowadays. I would say you could tell, but you can't.
Yeah.
This shit fucked up, man. It's fucked up. This is a good one right here. What happens when you seek to meet the needs of another person based on your own assessment of what he or she needs rather than considering the person's perspective?
Read that one more time, just to make sure I got it.
What happens when you seek to meet the needs of another person based on your own assessment of what he or she needs rather than considering that person's perspective?
When you seek to meet the needs of someone else rather than, okay. Wouldn't that just translate to you not listening to them? Not what they want, not listening, like not hearing them out, not like, I mean, that would come down to you just not respecting their boundaries or listening or even taking the time to like get to know them as a person.
Okay. I'm asking you though. You got to tell me. I'm asking you. Okay, that's cool. What kinds of conflict have you experienced with the members of the opposite sex?
Personally, for me, now obviously, I feel like everyone's answer is going to be different. But in my own journey of life, I feel like the main conflict I've come across is the intimidation level. And when I say that, I mean as in like sometimes the men from my hometown, let me say that because I'm not going to reference all men because I don't, like every man's different from every area, but the men in my hometown, they tend to be intimidated by a woman like me. And what I mean that by that is like a woman who just works, minds her business. I don't go out partying. I don't, get in drama. I work all the time. So I'm not, they don't got to worry about me. And chances are I'm not worried about them. And so they tend to look at that like, if they're not making the same amount of bread that I am, or the same amount of, they're not working as hard as me, or not pulling the same hours, it tends to create a friction. Whereas like they went like, oh babe, like I want to go out. Oh, I can't. I'm working. Like, I got to work crazy work schedule this week. Like, and then it creates the problems of like, oh, well, you think so you just can't do this because you always working. You always want to. I don't know. I feel like just me being who I am has created a friction in the other gender because I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I've had problems where I've get into relationships and I'm the one that like, because my love language is like acts of service or like gifts and like stuff like that sometimes. So like I tend to like, oh, like I'll surprise like gifts, or I'll be buying stuff for things, and then that tends to make them feel lesser than because they couldn't buy me something or stuff like that. But I don't know. When I look for a relationship, I don't look for like the money and stuff like that because I do all that for myself. So I don't need that.
Okay, cool. We're gonna go on to the next one then. Ooh. In what ways have you? In what ways have women been hindered? In what ways have you or women have been hindered from personal growth and development of gifts and talents because of negative attitudes and misunderstanding about women?
Mm-hmm. Just assuming that women can't do what men can do. I mean, there are some things I guarantee, like, I don't even want to say that because I've seen women do things in men's field and stuff like that. So I feel like just the misconception of women can't do things that men can do, and that creates a lot of like hardships on women right off the bat.
Okay. Do you think there's a difference between the way you see yourself and the way God views you and the purpose He has for you? If so, are you willing to become all you created to be?
That's a tricky one. I think I think God sees me the way that I see me because I just feel like if He made me in His image, He knows what type of person I am. He knows I can be a little sarcastic. He knows I can have a little bit of a dark humor. I feel like, and me knowing that about myself, He also would know that about me. Um, do I feel like I've hit all that I have been put here to do? No. And I definitely do want to keep striving and continuing to be in a good image more towards that. I'm starting to open back up to religion.
What you think the purpose of your existence?
That one's a hard one. I can't go through that one without going through a whole friggin' rabbit hole.
What do you consider a woman's rights?
The same as a man's. The right to breathe, the right to do anything that a man can do. I mean, everyone should be equal in what we can do, I feel like.
So your significant other go to like homecoming by themselves? Like, homecoming people meet up. This homecoming season, usually people meet up with like exes or classmates. Like, you think they should go by themselves or with their partner?
Depends on that person's relationship. I feel like if you're gonna be if you expect, like, if your partner expects for you to bring them with you, then it should be the same in reverse. I feel like, I mean, you have to talk about what you're comfortable with in a relationship and your boundaries, like, to understand that. Because I mean, you can't have the girl being like, oh, why can't I go out, and then he lets her go out, and then he tries to go out and she's like not letting it happen. That's like not fair.
Right. What about you though? Would you do it? Would you let your person go by themselves or with somebody? Or you'll go with
Mm,
them?
Me personally, I would be okay with them going by themselves. Or, I mean, if they invited me, I'd be cool with it. But at the end of the day, like, if it wasn't something that I was interested in, or like, if it wasn't something that they weren't, like, it wasn't so important to them, like, I would be okay with them going, like, because I feel like if I'm with somebody, like, I should have that trust level. You feel me? But like, the same goes, you know, like, I'm not the type to do all that.
Is there a limit to how much? Is there a limit to how much we should forgive someone, or should forgiveness be infinite?
I think there should be a limit. I know that they say about like unconditional love and all that. I feel like unconditional love really only plays into effect with your kids, obviously. I feel like as for everything else, love has a point where you can love somebody but not be with them because it just be too toxic. So I feel like there is a line for forgiveness and the amount that you can forgive. But I feel like if you're not clean either, then you feel me, like that's kind of like really there's no, you can't be dirty and expect forgiveness and then not give the forgiveness when it's time.
Right. Okay. Okay. Is it better to have a small circle of close friends or a large network of acquaintances?
Personally, me, I'm a large network of acquaintances type of girl. I don't have really close friends. I found that to be the way that I get hurt the most and the easiest and betrayed the easiest.
Does it matter if somebody follow you back on that on social media?
It really depends on the person. Me personally, I don't really care. I'm not in the whole social media thing for to really make something out of it. So I'm really just on here kind of for fun.
Do people really change, or they've just become better at hiding who they are?
People can change.
Like,
People can change.
why you took so long to pause and made all them
Yes,
faces?
like I was really gonna go with people just get better at hiding who they are because I feel like nowadays everyone has a persona. Everyone has that front face, and you really never know who they are until you really get the time. But at the same time, I can't say that because there has been stuff that I've done that I didn't like as a in my character in the past that I have changed, and I would never do that same stuff again. So
Okay. What do you think matters more for? Did I answer this already? What do I think
but
matters more for success? Intelligence, emotional intelligence? Ask you that.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, I meant to ask you this. Book smarts or street smarts? What you think matter the most?
street smart.
I have people say this all the time. You gotta have street smarts. But what had the streets done for anybody besides put people in jail, dead, or in wheelchairs?
But if you're street smart, you're avoiding all of that. You know that you know what's right and what's wrong. You know what to stay away from. I'm street smart in the ways of I know how to move when I'm in a place that might be a little bit more dangerous or sketchy. I know how to move with certain things. You feel me? I feel like street smart is a thing because at the end of the day, like book smart is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Like it depends on the career, but I've learned shit in math and in physics that I don't take with me to the real world that I've never used in the real world.
So how would you define street smarts? Common sense?
Common sense and like just like knowing how to move on the outside world, knowing what the outside world really is and how dangerous it can be.
Do you think technology connects us more or distance us from farther?
That's kind of a tug and pull situation, but in the end, I feel like it does distance us. It can connect us in a lot of ways of being able to connect people across countries and states and cities and whatnot. But at the same time, like we're also being distanced from our realities and our real lives when we're doing that.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever dated a married man?
Have I ever dated a married man? Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. What's your thoughts on women who do that though? Like they date married men or have sex with married men?
I feel like every situation might be different. I feel like it depends. I mean, if the girl knew that he was married for sure and he never made any even if he made promises, like if you knew he was married, you don't start nothing until like if he really wanted to pursue something outside. I feel like if he was thinking about you and not that marriage, he would end that marriage, and then you give him the time, and then if shit develops, shit develops. But at the end of the day, like you don't start that because it's just not. You don't be a home wrecker. Two, it's just not a good look for yourself, and it's just. I guarantee you feel bad about yourself. I don't know how girls don't feel bad about themselves when that
Well,
happens.
of course they feel bad about themselves. They some sorry motherfuckers. A lot of them bitches are. I
Absolutely.
mean, uh, they just want somebody to keep them warm at night. I guess. But can a woman change a man if she loves him properly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If
Okay.
changed, let me clarify that if he wants to be changed, because you cannot help nobody or not change nobody who do not want to be helped and not do not want to be changed. But if he is willing to put forth the effort along with you and really wants to make it work, absolutely. If you love him the right way, he will change up his ways.
Fair. Who the most famous rapper alive known worldwide?
Mm, 50 Cent, Busta Rhymes, one of the OGs, Snoop Dogg.
Who you think more famous worldwide? Snoop Dogg or Jay Z?
Jay-Z, only because of this whole crap that's going on now with Diddy and everything coming out and stuff like that. So definitely Jay-Z right this minute. Snoop Dogg still in the background.
Okay. 75% of rich, jack, and educated men are still single. They are not even trying to date. What could be the problem?
They're focused on their lives. They're focused on building something for their future so they can have a future. Those are the type of men that are worried about building their life first and their financials, their stability, so they can when they do meet a woman, they can bring her into that and already be ready. Like when they get serious and stuff like that.
How you feel? What's your thoughts on abortion? Should they keep it or ban it?
I feel like it should be the person's choice if, in certain cases, rape, obviously, incest, um, anything like that, 100% should be legal. I feel like at the end of the day, it's your right. It's your right.
Do you feel like they only trying to like?
But I agree only to a certain month. Like only like nothing past, like anything past really 5 months for me. Even 5 months is a little too much for me. But I mean, like I said, if the circumstances are surrounding it. But if it's just like you didn't want it and you just laid down with the wrong man and now you're just trying to get rid of it, but you already 5 months in, yeah, I think that's wrong.
I don't see a lot of virgin women saying they want to ban abortion. Keep